It was on that first Sunday after the land run, April 28, 1889. The sound of the bugle was heard, a white flag was staked into the ground, and a group of people came together to worship and to sing, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." These were the pioneers who weren't afraid to confront the difficulties of the future, but they knew they needed a family of faith. So they came together, and St. Luke's was born.
It was a grace moment, that day on the dusty red Oklahoma clay. Only God could foresee the impact of what was taking place. Faithful men and women gathered around a white flag to stake their claim for the generations to come, believing that their children and grandchildren would know the one true God. The seeds planted in that moment would bear fruit in the city and around the world.
In 1893, our dedicated founders built the Tabernacle, a place for gathering together in worship, for sharing each other's burdens, and celebrating one another's joys. In 1908, the church moved to 8th and Robinson under the name of St. Luke's, where membership would climb to almost 1,000. As we continued to grow, we again needed to relocate to accommodate the people coming to hear the message. In 1951, St. Luke's moved to our current location at 15th and Robinson, and eventually became the second largest Methodist church in America. While we raised money to build a new sanctuary, we gave $25,000 to Asbury Methodist Church to begin.
The 1960s, 70s, and 80s were difficult decades for Oklahoma City. There was financial strain, civil unrest, a major oil crash, and the mass exodus of people moving from the city to the suburbs. The struggles of our community affected our members and our ministry.
St. Luke's, which had once been the second largest Methodist church in the nation, decreased in membership from almost 10,000 to 4,000. In the midst of these difficult years, the church made a pivotal decision that would have tremendous impact. Reverend Dr. David Thomas led in the creation of the Christian Life Center. This project was an incredible leap of faith when so many were moving out of the downtown area. However, the congregation's commitment would become a formative step in the history of St. Luke's. The vision to build when it seemed there was little to build for created the space that would be needed for the thriving urban community we have today. The Christian Life Center was completed shortly after the arrival of Dr. Robert E. Long in 1991. Dr. Long and the church leadership saw the priority of reaching new people for Christ and continued the commitment of sharing God's love and the message of hope. To encourage individuals to develop their faith, St. Luke's began a midweek program known as Wednesday Night Alive. Throughout the years, this ministry has provided the opportunity for people to grow in their relationship with God through Bible study and topic-based classes.
In 1992, a door was opened for members of St. Luke's to travel to Ulyanovsk, Russia. Stepping out in faith, our congregation raised the money for this post-Cold War cultural exchange. Through this experience, salvation came, lifelong friendships were formed, and 3 Methodist churches were established in Russia: Ulyanovsk United Methodist Church, St. Luke's United Methodist Church of Ulyanovsk, and the Tyumen United Methodist Church in Siberia all continue to share God's love today. In our commitment to sharing Christ, St. Luke's launched a television ministry in 1993 to reach the larger community with our message of hope. In 1998, a new vision for worship led to the creation of a contemporary worship service, Lifelight. As a result, Sunday services expanded to 3 time slots, and the ministry grew to both traditional and modern worship styles. Lifelight also accommodated the growing needs of our congregation and proved to be vital in the ministry of our church. The renovation of the Christian Life Center in 2011 created additional seating for the Lifelight worship service, as well as provided a beautiful place for church and outside groups to meet.
In addition to our television broadcast, we began an inspirational radio message for morning commuters titled Something to Think About in 1999, which now airs daily on 6 metro radio stations. This has provided St. Luke's the opportunity to be an encouraging voice to our community and has opened doors for our ministry in the hearts of individuals who would not otherwise hear us. In 2013, St. Luke's began expanding beyond our downtown campus to share God's love and bring hope in other locations around our city. We started by partnering with Epworth Villa Retirement Community, broadcasting our traditional service to homebound members every Sunday morning. St. Luke's Asbury joined the St. Luke's Family of Faith, becoming the first of our satellite campuses. In March 2014, a new congregation began meeting at Sequoia Middle School, launching our St. Luke's Edmond campus.
We are a family of faith with a rich heritage and a bright future. Thank you, St. Luke's, for carrying out the mission of those original settlers who staked our white flag, the saints on whose shoulders we stand. Thank you for preparing a place of worship for the generations to come as we continue sharing God's love and bringing hope to the world.